Hello, guys. Today we begin with powerful truth about self-worth. If you've ever felt exhausted from saying yes too often, this video is for you. Carl Jung called it psychic energy depletion, when you give away your vital force to people who don't value it. What if I told you that over-availability isn't kindness, but self-abandonment? We'll explore why withdrawing your energy isn't selfish. It's how you reclaim your identity and start your true journey of becoming whole.
Have you noticed how saying yes to everyone leaves you feeling empty? Many of us think being constantly available makes us good people, but Jungian psychology suggests otherwise. What looks like generosity often becomes a slow drain on your energy, leaving little left for yourself. Think about the last time someone needed your help urgently. You dropped everything, listened for hours, gave advice, and then they vanished until the next crisis. That cycle teaches people your time has no value. This pattern usually starts with fear of being seen as cold, fear of losing connections, but constantly accommodating others means abandoning your own needs. Jung called this psychic energy depletion, where you give so much that your inner resources weaken. You might notice physical signs first: fatigue, headaches, or trouble focusing. Emotionally, it shows up as resentment you can't explain, or dreading your phone notifications. These aren't just stress symptoms, they're signals your boundaries are eroding. Imagine your energy as a bank account. Every unpaid favor, every late night call you answer withdraws from your balance. Meanwhile, the people taking rarely think to deposit anything back. Jung observed that relationships need reciprocity to stay healthy. Without it, you become what he called an unconscious participant in your own exhaustion. The giving feels automatic, not chosen. That's when resentment builds, not toward others, but toward yourself for allowing it. Some clues you're overextended. You feel guilty saying no, even when drained. You assume others' emergencies are your responsibility, or you've noticed people only reach out when they want something. These patterns don't mean you're unloved. They mean you've trained people to see you as a resource, not a person. The strangest part? The more available you are, the less respect you often receive. People intuit when someone lacks boundaries, even if they can't explain why. They'll prioritize those who value their own time, because scarcity creates respect. Your endless availability accidentally teaches people to undervalue you. But this isn't about blaming others, it's about recognizing the role you play in the dynamic. Every time you ignore your limits to please someone, you confirm their expectation that you'll always bend. Jung warned that without conscious withdrawal, we lose touch with our true selves. Your exhaustion isn't just fatigue, it's your psyche pointing toward a deeper problem. Why do we keep doing this, even when it hurts us? Ever wonder why some people seem to attract those who constantly take from them? It's not random. Certain individuals have a sixth sense for spotting emotional exhaustion. They notice the slight hesitation in your voice when you say yes, the way you sigh before answering their call. These subtle cues signal you're running on empty, and that's exactly when they make their move. Think about the friend who only reaches out when they need money, advice, or a place to stay. Or the coworker who dumps their workload on you because you're so good at handling stress. These aren't coincidences. Jung called this projection, when people offload their unresolved issues onto someone else. The more drained you are, the easier it is for them to project their chaos onto you. You become their emotional landfill, carrying burdens they refuse to face themselves. What makes this so effective? Guilt. Manipulators know that emotionally exhausted people often tie their worth to being needed. They'll say things like, "I thought I could count on you," or "I guess no one cares about me." These statements aren't about truth. They're designed to trigger your fear of abandonment. As one source puts it, they don't need to control you. They just need you to keep reacting the same way. And when you're running on fumes, that reaction is almost automatic. Here's the cruel twist. The more you give, the less they see you as a person. You become a function, a therapist, a crisis hotline, a safety net. Jung observed that manipulators relate to the role you play, not who you actually are. That's why they get angry when you set boundaries. Your unavailability forces them to confront their own emptiness, and they'll often retaliate by blaming you. One analysis notes, when you stop reacting, the game breaks. This cycle thrives on predictability. Manipulators study your patterns, how long it takes you to reply, what excuses you use when tired, which guilt trips work best. They know pressing certain buttons will make you jump, so they keep pressing them. Meanwhile, your exhaustion clouds your judgment, making it harder to see the manipulation for what it is. But here's what they fear most: silence. When you stop explaining, justifying, or apologizing, their tactics stop working. Your withdrawal isn't just about self-care. It's a direct threat to their system. As one insight explains, your unavailability is a threat because it forces others to confront their own emptiness. Suddenly, they're left holding the baggage they've been handing to you. So how do you break free from this cycle? What if silence could be your greatest strength? Most of us fear it. We equate silence with awkwardness or rejection. But Jung saw it differently. To him, silence was a conscious act of power, not weakness. Think about the last time someone demanded your attention. Now imagine not responding immediately. That pause creates space. Space for you to reclaim your energy. Space for them to sit with their discomfort. Manipulative dynamics rely on predictable reactions. When you always answer the phone at 2 a.m. or rush to fix someone's problem, you become part of their script. Silence breaks that pattern. It's not about being cold, it's about no longer playing your assigned role. Jung called this strategic, brutally lucid presence. By withdrawing your instant availability, you force others to confront their own emptiness instead of projecting it onto you. Here's how this works in practice. When you stop filling every silence with apologies or explanations, something shifts. The person who used guilt to control you might escalate at first. They'll test your resolve. But without your usual reactions, their tactics lose power. This is when observation becomes key. Silence allows you to notice patterns you missed while constantly reacting, how certain phrases trigger you, how quickly expectations turn into demands. Modern life trains us to fear stillness. We confuse constant connection with intimacy, rapid responses with care. But Jung's concept of individuation requires the opposite, sacred isolation, where you rebuild independent of external noise. This isn't about hiding. It's about creating internal space where your true voice can emerge without others drowning it out. People accustomed to your availability will resist this. Their discomfort isn't your responsibility. Consider the physical aspect. Each time you override your need for quiet, answering that text when exhausted, suppressing irritation during draining conversation, you deplete your psychic energy reserves. Silence conserves these resources. It's the psychological equivalent of closing unnecessary apps running in your mental background. The energy you reclaim becomes fuel for your own growth rather than others' demands. This kind of silence feels unnatural at first because we're conditioned to equate worth with visibility. But there's profound strength in selective engagement. Maybe you don't attend every argument you're invited to. Maybe you let someone's passive-aggressive comment hang in the air instead of rushing to smooth it over. These small withdrawals add up. The unconscious fears stillness because that's where truth emerges, about others but more importantly about ourselves. As Jung noted, what we avoid in silence often reveals what we need to confront. That friend who panics when you don't immediately respond, their reaction speaks volumes about the relationship's actual balance. Your discomfort with saying, "I'll think about it," instead of "yes," exposes where you've outsourced your worth. Breaking availability addiction starts with micro-silences. Pause 5 seconds longer before replying. Sit through the awkwardness after setting a boundary. Each time you do, you're training your nervous system that stillness isn't danger, it's the birthplace of authentic connection. The most surprising part, as you withdraw from draining exchanges, you create space for better ones. Relationships that thrive on mutual respect don't fear pauses, they welcome them. But first, you'll need to sit through the storm that comes when old patterns realize their hold on you is slipping. Choosing to stop being constantly available comes with a price, and you'll notice it immediately in the reactions around you. That friend who called you daily for advice might suddenly call you selfish when you say you're not up for a long talk. The co-worker who dumped last-minute tasks on you might label you uncooperative when you set work boundaries. These aren't coincidences. They're signs the old dynamic is breaking, and people invested in that dynamic will resist. Jung called this phase sacred isolation. Not loneliness, but intentional space to rebuild. The pushback you face isn't about your worth. It's about others confronting a void they'd rather ignore. When you stop over-functioning in relationships, their unresolved needs surface. A partner might accuse you of being cold when you no longer absorb their daily frustrations. Family may claim you've changed when you decline unrealistic requests. These reactions reveal how accustomed people were to you absorbing their discomfort. The guilt you feel is also part of the reshaping. If you've spent years conditioning yourself to prioritize others, saying no will initially feel like betrayal. That discomfort is growth. Your nervous system has been trained to equate self-sacrifice with safety. Breaking that link activates an internal alarm, but the alarm is faulty. What feels like selfishness is often just the unfamiliarity of honoring your own limits. There's another layer here. Your emotional withdrawal exposes hidden dependencies. The person who thrives on drama might escalate when you stop engaging. The perpetual victim might vanish when you no longer rescue them. These ruptures aren't failures, they're purges. Jung's individuation process requires losing what was never truly yours to keep. Relationships built on your depletion can't survive your wholeness. The rewards emerge slowly, but profoundly. Energy you once spent managing others' emotions becomes available for your own creativity. Time previously lost to obligatory gatherings now fuels real rest. You'll notice physical changes, better sleep, fewer tension headaches, as your body recognizes it's no longer in perpetual service mode. Psychic energy isn't infinite. Choosing yourself means redirecting that finite resource inward. This isn't about becoming uncaring, it's about relating from wholeness rather than depletion. You'll find the people who truly value you adjust to your boundaries. They may stumble initially, but they'll respect the space you need. The rest will distance themselves, and that distance becomes protection. What remains is quieter but richer. Conversations where you're present by choice, not obligation. Relationships where no is met with respect, not manipulation. A growing trust in your own company. Jung warned that until we withdraw from external noise, we can't hear our inner voice. That voice, once faint, grows clearer with every boundary. The final test isn't setting limits, it's maintaining them through others' discomfort, through your own guilt, through the fear of being less loved. But here's what waits on the other side. A life where your worth isn't tied to your usefulness to others, where enough is defined by you alone. That shift changes everything, not just who stays in your life, but how you experience yourself within it. True self-worth isn't measured by how quickly you answer calls or how many favors you do. It comes from within, from the boundaries you set, the energy you protect. Carl Jung's individuation process shows that becoming whole starts when you choose yourself first. This isn't selfishness, it's reclaiming what others have slowly taken. Some people will misunderstand. Let them. Their discomfort isn't your responsibility. What if being disliked temporarily is the price of your freedom? The journey isn't easy, but it's yours. Every no to others is a yes to your soul. Ready to begin? Tell us your opinion in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe our channel and see you at next video.